Yeah, yeah. Are you familiar with reflection tokens?
No.
So a reflection token is a token that pays dividends based on the protocol activity. So, like for example, um, well, you know how Hex works, right? So
Yeah.
Hex has this kind of like a reflection, but not really. But the reflection there basically is when um, you unstake with a penalty. The penalty goes to the people who are continuing to stake. So that's called reflection. It's reflecting back some action towards reinforced behavior. And the reinforced behavior would be like, okay, don't unstake, continue to stake. And if you're continuing to stake, then you'll make more. Even more than the specified APY of 3.69 or whatever that APY is. So that's the reflection. And so I was actually thinking yesterday that Zen could be used with the reflection uh, uh, protocol, specifically something like this. So we know that Zen is inflationary and becomes disinflationary over time, and it takes about 8 years to mint most of it, and then the mint basically stops. So 8 years is a long time, and there's plenty of people that can get into it. But it still doesn't have the cap on the inflation because staking will always produce 2%. So when you stake Zen, you will be able to make 2% pretty much in perpetuity. But not every person will stake. So it's not going to be 2% against the supply. It's going to be 2% against the total amount staked. And right now we're seeing about 10% of people staking. So it's not actually a lot. It's not like 50%.
Mm.
But what I was thinking is that what if there was a reflection token that derives value from Zen? And specifically, the way that it will work, it would have a hard cap of, let's say, 100 million or some number, maybe 200 million, maybe 250. It doesn't matter. The cap is hard. So there won't be any more tokens produced above the cap. Then it will have the issuance, and let's say that the issuance will be monthly. So every 30 days, every month, the protocol uh, produces the emissions of that token. So specifically, like the first month could be 5 million, the next month could be 4.8 million, then the month after 4.5, and then 4, and then 3, and then it trickles down to 0. And that could be 5 years, for example. So in 5 years, that's it. The whole 100 million of that new token are gone, no longer available. So similar to Bitcoin. But so Zen could be used with the proof of burn to create the competition for this new token. So it's like a game. So if you have Zen, you can deposit Zen into contract, and the contract will then run a calculation on everyone else who deposited with you, and whoever deposits the most gets the bigger share.
Okay.
So, and the cycles are monthly, and I'm just like thinking out loud. It's not like
Mhm.
even just the design doc or anything. So every month, people are competing for the emissions of the new token by burning Zen, and whoever decides to burn the most, they get the most. But then the reflection part happens from the fact that if you decide not to take the new token into your wallet, like if you decided to wait and you stake it, then you will be making more by staking it. In the APY that you'll be generating will be paid by all of those new users that are coming in to burn Zen. So they will be burning Zen, and the small percentage, like 5 or 10% of that burn, will go towards the APY for people who are staking. So that's the reflection part. So what happens here is that Zen gets to benefit from the fact that it's getting burned. And then the people are competing for the issuance that are ever declining every month for the new token. And people know that in 5 years, after 100 million tokens are issued, it will no longer be available. So it becomes kind of like a bond, if you will. So if Zen is cash, then the new token is a bond where you convert your cash into a bond that will pay reflection dividends or APY based on the activity within that protocol. And so Zen gets the benefit because it's burned and the supply will be deflationary. So the value of Zen will rise. And the new token will be issued for the people who are playing the game within this DeFi protocol, creating and deriving this new bond-like instrument that is paying you dividends based on the total user activity.
Wow. You really got my mind going a mile a minute right now.
So yeah, so that could be very interesting.
I do have a friend that, yeah, interesting. I know he's listening right now too, so it's running through his head.
Yeah, and I know like SafeMoon, I think, was one of those first reflection-based tokens, and it's definitely, I think, was a scam because it was not based on first principles of crypto. Like the team had the allocation and all that shebang, and then they ran away with the money or something. Something happened.
Yeah, I remember.
But it doesn't mean that the tech and the idea is bad. It's just the execution is really poor. And so if we did the right execution, so no admin keys, immutable, on-chain, open source, audited, and creates utility for Zen, then it kind of becomes similar to these NFTs, except NFTs is addressing the NFT market. But this new thing could be addressing the people's desire to, hodl the new token by converting their Zen to the new token. And also competing with the Zen's inflation. So if people are saying, oh, Zen's so hyperinflationary and it has no value and like all that, FUD. But what if the hyperinflation was plugged into the competition between the people who are using this new contract to derive another token that actually has the hard cap and has limited inflation?